You gonna be the worm face!
Welcome back to the grand finale on Bionic Zombie II. We've survived 2 videos of nature's revenge, from mutant bears to massive bee swarms. But we saved the weirdest, the biggest, and the deepest for last. We're finishing our 43 movie countdown with everything from dimension-hopping spiders to the king of the apes himself. Let's jump into the home stretch. Eaten Alive 1976. If you thought Lakewood Manor was bad, check into the Starlight Hotel. Also known as Death Trap, this was directed by Tobe Hooper right after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's about a crazy owner feeding guests to a giant swamp crocodile. It's a gold mine for famous faces, starring Carolyn Jones, Morticia Adams, and a young Robert Englund before the Freddy Krueger glove. Plus, it features a massive chainsaw reunion, bringing back William Vale and the legendary final girl herself, Marilyn Burns. Seeing her trade chainsaw maniacs for a hungry crocodile is pure 70s gold. Rattlers, 1977. Moving from the swamp to the desert. In Rattlers, a colony of snakes becomes hyper-aggressive due to nerve gas hidden in a cave. It features Darwin Jostin, the cult hero from John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. If you're afraid of snakes, this one has some genuinely skin-crawling shots of rattlers in places you definitely don't want them. Stanley, 1972. Sticking with the snakes, we have Stanley. Think of this as the Willard of snake movies. Starring Alex Rucco, Mo Green from The Godfather, it's about a Vietnam vet who discovers a psychic bond with his pet rattlesnake. When society pushes him too far, he uses his scaly friends to get even. It's a weird character-driven cult classic. The Giant Spider Invasion, 1975. Alright, we're heading to Wisconsin for one of the most famous B-movies ever. This one features spiders from another dimension, but it's best known for the giant spider that is actually just a Volkswagen Beetle covered in fur. To make matters funnier, the cars were driven in reverse, so the glowing red taillights looked like alien spider eyes. It stars Alan Hale Jr., the skipper from Gilligan's Island. It is peak 70s drive-in fun. Tarantulas, The Deadly Cargo, 1977. If you prefer your spiders a bit more grounded, we have this 1977 TV movie. It's essentially spiders on a plane decades before the 2000s did it. A plane carrying coffee beans and thousands of spiders crashes near a small town. It stars Tom Atkins, the ultimate 80s horror hero from Halloween 3. Although the movie is called Tarantulas, an entomologist in the film correctly identifies them as Brazilian wandering spiders, also known as banana spiders, which are actually far more venomous and aggressive. Claws, 1977. We're heading to the Alaskan mountains for a movie that tried to capture that grisly magic with a wilderness-based Jaws knockoff. Claws features a wounded grizzly on a rampage against the local community and hunters. It is famously remembered for its campy acting, stock nature footage, and overt similarities to Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic. It is definitely one for the 70s completionists out there. King Kong 1976. We can't talk about the 70s without the big guy. Produced by Dino De Laurentiis, this massive remake gave us Jeff Bridges and the film debut of Jessica Lange. Legendary special effects artist Rick Baker spent most of the grueling shoot wearing an intricate foam and bearskin ape suit of his own design. It's huge, it's loud, and despite severe production troubles, the film stands as a classic showcase of 70s practical effects. Chosen Survivors 1974. This is a hidden gem. A group of people are trapped in a high-tech bunker after a nuclear war, only to find out they're sharing it with thousands of bloodthirsty vampire bats. It stars Jackie Cooper and is incredibly tense. It's a great example of 70s claustrophobic horror. Deep 1977. Written by Peter Benchley, the mastermind behind Jaws, this underwater thriller stars Nick Nolte and Jacqueline Bisset. The real star, however, is a massive, terrifying moray eel. The giant eel that attacks the divers was a magnificent special effect. Measuring 12 feet long, the production team used 3 animatronic models collectively nicknamed Percy. The mechanical beast looked incredibly real and gave a generation of divers nightmares. What happens when chemical runoff turns a school of barracudas into hyper-aggressive man-eaters? You get Barracuda, 1978, a cult classic that starts as a Jaws clone, but pivots into a gritty 70s government conspiracy thriller. While it features remarkably effective, low-budget underwater sequences, keep your eyes peeled during the dive scenes. If you look closely, you can actually see a crew member's hand pushing a rubber fish past the camera. One of the many Jaws ripoffs that is actually a lot of fun, Up from the Depths, 1979, is exactly the kind of movie the late 70s was built on. Produced by B-movie king Roger Corman, it features a prehistoric fish that is disturbed by underwater explosions and starts snacking on tourists at a Hawaiian resort. Interestingly, while the story is set in lush Hawaii, it was actually shot on the cheap in the Philippines. Piranhas at a Reservoir, starring Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. Killer Fish 1979 is a bizarre Italian-Brazilian co-production directed by cult icon Antonio Margheriti. It plays out like a heist movie mixed with an animal attack flick, following jewel thieves who hide stolen emeralds in a lake, only for their mastermind to stock it with flesh-eating piranhas to prevent double crosses. Packed with wild 70s fashion, gold chains, and terrible special effects, even a bionic man has trouble with these teeth. We finally reached the movie that really kick-started the 70s obsession with animal revenge. Willard 1971 stars Bruce Davison as a lonely man who forms a deadly psychic bond with the rats in his basement. It's creepy, deeply tragic, and and used hundreds of real, highly trained rodents to terrify audiences, proving that even the smallest pests could become box office royalty. This low-budget film shocked Hollywood by becoming one of the highest-grossing movies of the year and earning an Oscar nomination for its incredible sound design. The grand finale, Ben 1972, is the ultimate rat revenge sequel, following the titular killer rodent as he unexpectedly befriends a lonely young boy with a heart condition. Opening with the literal final scenes of Willard to save money, it stands as the only movie on our list featuring a monster with an Oscar-nominated theme song. Performed by a young Michael Jackson, the track actually became his first solo #1 Billboard hit, making it the perfect, beautifully weird ending to our 43-movie marathon. And that brings us to the end. From the mutant bear in Prophecy to the trained rats of Ben, we've survived 43 movies that prove the 1970s was the absolute golden age of animal attack cinema. It was a decade where nature felt like it was finally fighting back, and filmmakers used everything from puppets to real-life swarms to make it happen. I'm Bionic Zombie II. Thanks for joining me on this 3-part marathon. Like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird and wonderful world of cult cinema. Keep your eyes on the woods, the water, and the basement. I'll see you in the next one.